And now I want to talk to you about some of the wonderful dollhouse rooms and miniatures that we're presenting in the catalog book, Bread and Roses. In 2010, we auctioned the extraordinary dollhouse collection of Hanna Buktis of Vienna, Austria. At that time, she kept her 10 favorite houses and continued to add wonderful miniatures and rare objects to the rooms, so they became the fantasy rooms that you can stand and look in front of for hours and hours and see wonderful ways of life that people had and go into your own romantic fantasies about the house. I'm going to just pinpoint on each of these houses. I'm going to put them up here. I'm going to show you a couple of the really significant items, and then I'm going to back away and let you enjoy your own photographic view of the houses. On this beautiful Biedermeier doll room, very large size, notice things like the silk wallpaper, the gilt paper lower wainscoting, which with its relief designs on it, very, very rare and wonderful to find, and then the beautiful wooden molding all around the top. Pay attention to this very rare chandelier. In the corner, there are two corner cupboards. There is a whole collection of tiny, tiny miniature porcelain figurines, very fine. This lamp is absolutely an extraordinary lamp, so you should take a good look at that when you come through later. The glass dome with a dried flower arrangement in this miniature size you virtually can never find. And look at these wonderful little wax dolls in the room, and the little wooden hooded cradle with a little miniature doll inside. When we come to the other side, again, another corner cabinet, a very, very beautiful one from the Biedermeier period with little miniature pieces inside. We have a beautiful early bisque lady with sculpted hair, another little wax boy carrying his little pet dog, and wonderful rare accessories. Each of the furniture pieces is very, very fine and from that early period. So notice the paintings on the wall, all of them quite extraordinary, and I'm going to step back and let you enjoy. Another wonderful house from the Biedermeier era is shown here, and what an incredible family of wooden dolls are living in this house. They really make it come alive. But so many other great accessories I want to point out to you. First of all, in the library, the smaller room is a library. There's an Evans and Cartwright chair. There's a wonderful watercolor painting there on the wall. We have three little pugs of Vienna bronze, which are very, very fine. Even in the little woven cradle, a little tiny wooden doll. And the bookcases, they are filled with, trust me, I counted them and it was hard to get to them, 31 leather-bound books, and these are real miniature books. They're not just fake. And 6 albums filled with little miniature tiny tin types. So great, great treasures there. And meanwhile, in the larger sitting room, we have, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 large wooden, 6, I missed one in the corner, 6 large wooden Grodner tall or paper mache dolls, very rare each in itself. And they are in the parlor. The center table is on this beautiful beaded carpet. And look at this rare parlor stove with the beaded work covering it, extremely rare. We have overscaled Boule furniture, which is quite rare to find, including this very extraordinary piano with the music printed on the underside of the hinged lid. Very fine. Much ormolu decorations throughout, little accessory pieces, and a whole collection of little carved bone furniture that these two little wooden dolls are playing with their little dolls with the bone furniture. So a great assemblage of things, and check the glass dome with another wonderful dried flower arrangement underneath. Fabulous house. A very fine early house with a rare slant top roof, which allows a greater visibility into the room, is wonderfully furnished with original papers and embroidered tapestry curtains at the back. Notice the wonderfully detailed beaded chandelier in gold and like an opaque crystal. Very finely done. Furniture is wonderful of that period. A particular note is this beautiful desk with carved bone pillars and knobs. Very fine. And the settee, if you can see it in the back, has a wonderful early shaping on it. These are early pieces, like 1840 to 1850, and very fine. We have a drop front desk over here, and the accessories are just extraordinary. A particular note, there's so many ormolu pieces, but a particular note is this gilt ormolu inkwell that has an attached scale on it. Very rare to find such a piece. Carved bone statue of a nude, even in this Victorian living room. That's okay, it was art. Other wonderful books are laid out all over. We have other pieces of ormolu that are quite rare, include this easel with the revolving photographs, so you could be looking at artwork in your parlor, or they could be photographs of your family and friends. On this side of great rarity is the freestanding plant stand of very finely carved wood with intact all of the complete original porcelain flower pots with their original silk flowers inside. Wonderful wall hangings throughout, great accessories like the porcelain pieces back here. We have a clock, we have Another inkwell and pad here. We have a gilded ormolu cage with a parrot inside. And we have a wonderful little toy dog pulling a little toy carriage, which is just a joy. So please enjoy. From the end of the 1800s, we have this wonderful little two-room house, and this is great for collectors who don't have a lot of space for a doll room, but just have something that they could fit into almost like bookshelves and enjoy seeing this wonderful room. It's furnished with a wonderful set of Boule furniture and with this beautiful blue silk upholstery and the gilt paper edging around all of the furniture. The settee in particular has the wonderful rolled arms, very, very fine. Other rare pieces that you do want to look at in this room include the ceramic parlor stove, which is actually an exact copy of the one in the Emperor's Palace in Vienna. On this side, please note the secretaire, which is very, very wonderful, and the design on the cover, on the lid, the pull-down lid, is a running deer. Very, very rare to find. A wonderful corner piece with great rare accessories, and again, rare accessories all over this entire room, from the wall hangings to the wonderful porcelain figures, to the boy of the bust of the boy. He is the actual boy that was in the Jean Curie and Jean Pleur French sculptures that were so popular at the time, and I'm happy there's just the laughing boy here. And we have, again, wonderful accessories here and more gilt ormolu overall and wonderful little bisque dolls. In the smaller room, the bedroom, furnished with everyone's favorite and sought after, the rare Rock and Granner painted furniture. And this is one of the rarest pieces from Rock and Granner with the snake carved legs, so be sure to pay attention to that. Wonderful canopy bed with the original upholstery with great decoupage designs. It's very beautiful. And in the back corner must have been a child's room, or perhaps someone who maybe someone who was a grown person who was a collector, and they had their Miniaturia toys in painted tin in the back with a little Punch and Judy show, a little rider on a horse, and a little doll fellow back there. All great accessories and wonderful pieces in this house. Another beautiful room from the end of the 1800s, filled with wonderful and rare accessories. Two rooms here. In the smaller room on this side, first of all, be sure to note this rare bisque lady with her sculpted bonnet, extraordinarily rare. Wonderful Biedermeier furniture throughout, rare pieces that are just great. Accessories, the little dog, the doll in the carriage, wonderful wall hangings, and the beaded chandelier. Very great pieces. When we come on to the other side, we see a whole set of early Biedermeier furniture with chest of drawers and the drop front desk, the wonderful settee in the back with the rolled cushions on the side, a fabulous table right in the center of the room with a decoupage design on the lid, very, very beautifully done. A little girl in an early tin plate velocipede that she is playing with. And again, wonderful early dolls, and even this wonderful fire screen with the embroidered detail on it, and wall hangings, including this wonderful shadow box with its early message of faith and friendship. The Art Nouveau movement had its particular style in Vienna, and the design can be attributed to Kalimann Mosher. And certain elements of this house have very characteristic features that are notable from him. The paintings of the birds on the five-sided ceiling, the fantasy leaves painted around it, the unusual color decorations on the side, the mauve, the dark blue, the gold. These are all characteristics of that gentleman, and the wonderful carved detail on the top of the room. So we certainly can attribute this room to his design. Inside are absolutely wonderful pieces, including this Christmas tree, of a feather tree that is lavishly filled with wonderful decorations of tragants, the bread designed sculptures that were so rare to find today and are so absolutely precious. Wonderful antique Art Nouveau lamp of leaded glass, the Japanese style porcelain vase next to it, wonderful furnishings in the house. We have indeed three people. We have the old gentleman at the back with his very well-detailed beard. We have the gentleman in uniform sitting at the front with his mustache, and the lady of the house, and they are enjoying tea with this wonderful service that they have, and wonderful accessories throughout. The house itself here is so extraordinarily rare, and the furnishings, including the beaded chandelier, are really quite wonderful. Appropriately, Hannah Buchtis, in assembling her dollhouses, was taken with any dollhouses that could have an attribution to the Vienna area where she lived. And this wonderful Art Nouveau house by Hans Makart was one of her most cherished possessions. Notice the circular rooftop, which is very, very nice, a three-part, and wonderful pieces inhabit this room, both in the form of people, of which you can see there are many of them. There's a whole family, and this, I love this gentleman in his all-original costume with his black beard and mustache. Among the notable pieces in the house are this wonderful silvered tea table, the silvered fireplace with the filigree figures supporting the manteltop, and on the manteltop are these wonderful little miniature silver chairs in which a little kitten is posed. Great, great pieces. Wonderful chandelier, great other pieces, including the porcelain figures at the back of the boy and girl. And among the many wonderful prints on the wall is this particular Art Nouveau done in the Louis Makart manner of a lady seated admiring her little doll. To me, the most treasured doll rooms, stores, houses that you can find are the ones that you just could stand in front of and just keep staring at for an hour or more, and you just keep seeing different things. When I first saw this toy store, I was immediately taken, of course, with the storekeeper, who's this wonderful early papier-mâché lady. And she's standing in front of her novelty box of little tiny buttons and dolls and accessories and little trinkets for sewing. Also, inhabiting her shop, two rare papier-mâché dolls at the back, a lady and a woman in there with their original sculpted papier-mâché bonnets and their original folklore costumes, really rare. We have a little Grodner doll with fully jointed wooden body sitting down here. We have a wonderful arrangement under a glass dome. We have wonderful porcelain figures, glassware, carved bone, dolls in a basket, so many pieces. I think you could just stand in front of this and stare at it for an hour, and you would probably not be able to count the number of wonderful early pieces that inhabit this early little novelty store. 19th century toy shop. Very, very wonderful. I was visiting a collector's home recently, and they had in their library with all of their books, they had one shelf arranged of this height, and they had all books next to it, and then tucked right in the middle of the books was this little doll room, and it made just an absolutely beautiful arrangement, isolating it from all of things around it with just books next to it. And ironically, in this house, which was great, they collected toys as well as dolls, and so they had all of their toy books posed on either side of it. This is a great little room, partly because of its diminutive size, which is so rare to find, but also because of its all original interior and contents. Look at the wonderful counters and the way they're designed with the little display cases filled with all sorts of novelties and toys to tempt a little child. There are literally, I tried counting them, and I'm going to tell you, you can't do it. There are hundreds of little toys in there, from jump ropes to little dolls to little pull toy horses, everything you can possibly think of. Wonderful little treasures, and all just perfectly preserved, waiting for you. One of the prize pieces of the collection, and Hannah Buchtis always treasured this greatly, is an early stove by the Merkling company. Very, very fine. It has all of the original counters, shelving in the back, including the arch design on the top, fitted into the walls with their original paper and the gilt stenciling around them. Very, very fine. Off to the side of the store is a very classic and traditional little store office with the metal barred windows, as you can see, and the painted gilt stenciling. And inside the office, we have wonderful things like the partner desk, the double partner desk. There is a press. I'm not sure why the store has a press, but it did have a press for pressing papers together. A safe labeled CAS, and another wonderful work table over there with scales. The store itself has wonderful pieces, accessories, and food products for sale. A beautiful silver-plated bird cage with matching pedestal. And if we skip to the outside and look at the window on the outside, it's really quite extraordinary, because it's all finished off architecturally and has the original painted tin sign on the top advertising the wares. And so you can see into the large display window from the outside, and then in the inside of the store are the double cabinet opening doors. A wonderful 6-room dollhouse from the Hannah Buchtis collection was one of her pride and joy, and it is so filled with treasures that you could spend, again, hours just looking at it. Rock and granite furniture is one of the highlights, particularly early pieces with the tin legs and the paper mache backs. Very, very hard to find. So let's look at the parlor first, which has those wonderful chairs in it. A pedestal table filled with little potted flowers, very, very lovely. An embroidered screen at the back that actually was a Ballspenden, a Victorian ball dance card designed to be used later on as miniature furniture. Wonderful antique furniture pieces in this room are very, very superb. Moving upstairs to the bedroom, we find an extraordinarily rare piece of rock and granite, which is the chaise lounge with the original tufted silk upholstery with a floral design. Very, very fine pieces, and other very fine rock and granite pieces throughout, including, of course, the dolls. Notice the chandeliers and the frame pieces in each room. The center staircase has the hallway with the stairs and the railings going up, and although sparsely furnished, it does have wonderful pieces in it, including this lovely folding screen. And then we skip over to the other two rooms, and we find the sitting room is quite lovely. A little bronze dog on a cushion. We have the wonderful chandeliers again. Appropriately, we have a bust of Queen Victoria, which every parlor at that time would have had. We have a carved bone and wooden spinning wheel, and wonderful lamps and accessories throughout. Coming down to the kitchen, we have fine early, more country wooden pieces. There is the tin painted cage for preserving breads and pieces hanging on the wall. Wonderful other tin pieces throughout, and 2 early wax ladies, which are very fine. I want to show you the outside, the exterior of the house as well, and we'll show it closed later on. But at this point, I just want to point out the original painted stonework, the brickwork, the original walls, very, very finely done with the double doors, and you'll see more of that in just a moment.